here, all the girls from my past, from when I was a child onwards, and it brought about an awful lot of emotion, tears. I don't know why. You know, it just felt I had to let go.
I think the feeling I have is that because they're all women, I think it has something to do with the work you've been doing with the feminine, right? So it's on one side is they're showing up the support to show you that, look, you're not alone, right? You have all these people behind you supporting your journey. And on the other side, you're going through so much transformation. I think it has to do with owning. So when you say that you saw yourself, or you were looking from above,
I was looking down, yeah.
On the coffin, right? I feel that is the old paradigm, the way you used to function. You were so, because these were your words, like you were so masculine oriented, you were so logical, and all our conversations lately have been about, I'm losing that part, I don't even have that part anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it has to do with a change in consciousness. I think you're moving a lot from the masculine into the feminine, which doesn't mean that the masculine is dying, it's just not, it's transforming. Because the way things work is, I know we work a lot with the feminine, but the way things work is, the feminine allows everything. Feminine is life force, feminine is everything that exists, right? But for the masculine, which is consciousness, which is nothingness, it needs to have a proper vessel so it can come down into. So if we think that we go through most of our lives and we don't connect with either of those forces, of those energies, we just go around our business and we don't connect to the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
We're always just doing, reacting. We are very rarely aware of what's going on within us and around the world. We're just running programs from the subconscious mind, right? It's just habits. When we consciously start working with the feminine, you open up this door to everything. So the masculine is nothing, the feminine is everything. And we'll go to the masculine afterwards. I'll explain the nothing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start working with the feminine, she's absolutely everything from the breath to our bodies, to the sofa, to the floor, to everything that is manifested in the physical. That's the feminine, right? But the feminine needs to be, the relationship needs to be developed so it can become like a vessel for the nothingness or the consciousness to come down into our bodies. So the feminine starts going up through the chakras to the different energy centers. So you start moving from safety and security on the base, then you go on to creativity, emotion, sexuality. You go to your sense of self on the solar plexus. You go to unconditional love and compassion in the heart. You go, and this is when it becomes very interesting, because you don't really need to go up to the crown for the consciousness to come down. Once you get to the heart, it's very easy for consciousness to start coming down. So, what does that mean? It means that when you open to the feminine, you work through all these places, all these levels of being. You let go of old programmings, you become more aware, you become more, you act instead of reacting, so you're not just unconscious, you're becoming more of your true self.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all the layers are coming out as you go through the chakras and you work on those levels of consciousness. All the layers that are errors in perspective, they start coming out. So when you get to the heart, you're pretty much in a good place. right? You understand who you are more, you understand that we're all connected, that everybody is, this comes a bit later, but everybody starts showing up as being perfect, as in you see a little bit of yourself in everybody, right? And when that happens, consciousness or nothingness, which is not nothing because consciousness is a sense of nothing because the feminine is everything, and in consciousness or in the divine masculine there is this sense of peace and of there's no illusions. So there's nothing in terms of physical, but there's no illusions. So that's the nothingness, right? And there's this there's just truth, the sense of peace, sometimes a sense of bliss, the sense of love. So when that happens, the feminine becomes this vessel, and it says, hey, look, I'm open, I'm available, you can come down, come on. So when that happens, it's called like embodying the divine masculine. So it can come down, and it goes, it can stop at several different places, but it can come to the higher seat of the soul, which is this chakra that we have here. I don't remember the name. It starts with an H, Y something. High something. I'll investigate that. I don't remember it. But it's between the throat and the heart. It can sit there. It's called the upper seat of the soul. It's where the wisdom heart chakra is. That's what it is. It can come down to the actual heart, or it can come down to the sacral, which is the lower seat of the soul. So the more that energy comes down, 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 the more you are embodied. But it can only come down if you have a strong feminine vessel waiting. Okay? So it's just like when feminine and masculine have nothing to do with gender, you know that. But if we transfer it to genders, you know the feminine receives the seed, so it can then generate a baby, right? So the feminine is the receiving part, the masculine is the giving part, and that's what happens. When the feminine becomes available, the masculine comes down, and the more you embody it, the more conscious you become. So I think, because you've been doing so much work with that, I think that's the letting go of the old paradigm, and you're now ready to, because you're already open, your Shakti, the feminine is already up, so now it's, okay, let's get rid of the old constructions, let's
start looking at something new. But you cannot do that without the support of the feminine, which I believe is what those women represent. Those are the feminine, the vessel. Quite amazing.
I know it's a lot of information, but it's